So welcome back to my channel again, Intelligent Learners. So in this video we are going to discuss about the linear sequence. See, what is the linear sequence? So in Indian curriculum we are calling linear sequence as the arithmetic sequence, right? And other than our Indian curriculum we have this topic in the form of linear sequence, right? So they both are the same, linear sequence and the arithmetic sequence. So if we are adding or subtracting a constant, okay, if we are subtracting or adding a common value from the previous term, and with the help of that we are getting the next term, that is the linear sequence, right? So I already discussed that thing. Then we are going to discuss about what is the nth term. Suppose you have sequence, suppose you have so many terms written in commas, and you have to find 1/50th term, or you have to find 1/26th term. So to get such a big value, because you can't add or subtract one by one to reach to the 1/50th term or 1/70th term or the 1000th term. So in that case, what we are going to do, we are find the Tn, that is the nth term, right? That is also called as Tn, or that is also called as An. Okay, in Indian curriculum we call it as An, the nth term, An, represented by A. In the base you have n, or in other curriculum we have an as Tn, okay, capital T. In the base you have small n, right? So that's that. So let's start with the video, everyone. Sequence means whenever we are writing some terms, right, we are writing some numbers in a definite order. Suppose I'm saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. So this is a sequence, because in every previous term I am adding 1 to get the next term. If I'm adding 1 to 2, I'm getting 3. If I'm adding 1 to 3, I'm getting 4. So whatever I'm doing in the previous term, I am getting the next term, okay? But I am adding the same number. I'm adding a constant, plus 1 I am doing, right? Next, if I will say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on. So if you will see, in this I am adding 2 in every previous term to get the next term. So this is also a linear sequence. If I will say 8, 4, 0, -4, negative and so on, not so on, let's say, just up till -8 I'm saying. So this is also a linear sequence, because in every previous term I am subtracting 4 to get the next term, right? So if you will see in the above portion, I am adding something. I'm adding a constant. In the third part, I am subtracting something. So they all are linear sequence. So whenever I am adding something and subtracting something to get the next term, and whatever I'm doing, that I'm doing in the previous term, so that is called as the linear sequence. So what is a linear sequence? Adding or subtracting a constant in previous term to get the next term is called as the linear sequence. Okay. Other name of the linear sequence is the arithmetic sequence. Arithmetic sequence. Please remember, in linear sequence, you are only either adding or subtracting the constant, a particular constant, right? So that's that. So let's take an example. Suppose I'm saying 12, 9, 6, 3, and so on. If you have to see whether it is a linear sequence or not, so just see, if I'm subtracting 3 in 12, I'm getting 9. If I'm subtracting 3 in 9, I'm getting 6. If I'm subtracting 3 in 6, I'm getting 3. So it means I am subtracting a constant, okay, the same number. So it means, yes, it is a linear sequence, okay? It's a linear sequence. Now, why arithmetic called as the linear sequence? Linear, the word linear. Okay, linear means whenever you have the power of the variable as 1. Means suppose I'm saying, let's take an example. Suppose I'm saying 2x plus 1. That is a linear expression. Why? Because the highest power of x is 1. When there is no power, invisible power means 1. So when the highest power of x or any variable is 1, that means linear. Okay, so let's understand how to get the nth term, right? So just a sec. Yeah. Let's have a discussion about Tn. What is the meaning of T? T means term. And what is the meaning of N? Means nth term. Suppose we have a sequence. Let's say we have a sequence 3, 8, 13, 18, and so on. If you will see, this is a linear sequence, because in every previous term, I am adding 5, right? Now, if somebody will ask me that please tell me what is the 100th term. This is the first term, second term, third term, fourth term, and so on. If somebody will ask me what is the value of 100th term, so it's not easy to do like this, adding in the previous term every time 5 and getting the 100th term. This is not fine, right? So what we will do in that case, we will find Tn in that case, right? We will find Tn. So how to find Tn in that case? So please understand it very carefully. Let's say this is the sequence only, right? This is the sequence only. First of all, the first step, the step 1 is to find the common difference. Common means that constant that we are either adding or subtracting. So here we are adding. So the first step is to get the common difference. So the common difference is 5. Okay. So first step is to find the common difference. It could be in plus, it could be in minus. So common difference is 5 here, right? What is the next step? You have to multiply 5 with any variable. So because we are taking n as a variable, so multiply that common difference with n. Okay. Now this is 5n, right? 5 multiply n is 5n. Now what you have to do, you have to make a sequence with the help of 5n. How to do it? What we will do it. So let's make it here only, okay? Because we want this. So what we will do, with the help of this 5n, we make a sequence. So 5n means 5 multiply n. Let's start putting n as 1. So when n is 1, so this will become 5 multiply 1, which is 5, right? When n is 2, it will become 5 multiply 2, which is 10. Then 3, 5 multiply 3 is 15. Then 4 means 20, and so on, right? So this is the second step. So second step, this is, what is the second step? Second step, to make a sequence putting n equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, right? So you get the sequence as this one. So this is the second step, right? So in the second step, you are getting a sequence 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on. What is the third step? Third step is you have to subtract the first sequence and the second sequence. So this is the first sequence, the original sequence that you have in the question, and this is the second sequence. If you will subtract 3 minus 5, first term with the first term, 3 minus 5, 3 minus 5, not 5 minus 3. 3 means you have to subtract the second sequence portion with the first sequence portion. So 3 minus 5, which is minus 2. If you will subtract 8 minus 10, which is again minus 2, then 13 minus 15, again minus 2. So you are getting the same thing, right? So what you have to do in the third step, it will be 5n, and you have whatever the constant you are getting after subtracting two sequence, that you have to write here. So this is the Tn. Okay, this is equals to Tn. This is the nth term, right? So this is how we find the nth term in the linear sequence. Okay, so we'll take one more example. So first understand this portion. Okay, now let's say they are asking you for the 100th term. Now after finding Tn, they are asking you what is the 100th term. So you just have to do nothing. You have to put n as 100. You have to put n as 100. So when I put here in Tn, I put n as 100. So it will be this, which is applying the bid mass or the board mass or the PEMDAS. So it's 500 minus 2, which is 498. So 100 term is 498, right? So to find any term in a sequence, we have to find out Tn, which is the nth term, and put n, whatever the number you are required. Okay. So let's start with an example to understand what is the linear sequence and how to find out the nth term. Okay, that is the Tn, right? So let's start with the thing. 8 minus 10 minus 12 minus 14, and so on. Suppose this is a sequence. Okay, what is the first step? Step 1 is to find the common difference. If you will see, when I am adding minus 2 to minus 8, right? Because minus, what I should add or subtract in minus 8. Okay, because we are going left, so let's take minus. If we are subtracting minus 2 in the previous term, you are getting minus 10. If you are subtracting again minus 2, you are getting minus 12. Okay, so let's take the common difference is coming 2. So the first step is to find the common difference, which is equals to minus 2. Okay, what is the next step I told you? The second step is to multiply that common difference with a variable, that is we have taken n. So it is minus 2n. Now what is the third step? We have to make a sequence. right? How to make a sequence? By putting here, it is -2 multiply n. This means -2 multiply n. So putting n as 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So when I put n as 1, so it will be -2 multiply 1, which is -2. When I put -2 multiply 2, will be -4, then -6, then -8, and so on. So you are getting a sequence. After that, what you have to do? You have to subtract the second sequence term with the first sequence term. So this is the original sequence. This I made it. So first term with the first term. Subtraction you need. Second term with the second term. Third term with the third term, like this. We have to subtract. So -8 minus -2, right? So which is this, which gives you -6. So similarly, when you subtract -10 minus -4, which is -10 plus 4, which is again -6. So same thing. So after that, what is a step 4? To write Tn. So Tn is equals to the second step portion. You are getting -6, so put -6 here. So this is Tn, right?